Tonight, political and business leaders gather in Regina to talk trade and the federal election campaign. We learn more about why the University of Regina is pausing fee collection for its students' union. And it's been a staple of the community for more than a century. Now an Indian Head group is hoping to win thousands to repair the town's aging theater.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, April 8th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. In a rare instance, Saskatchewan's political parties are all in agreement. They want to hear more about the province on the federal election campaign trail and more about how the province could leverage its position during a global trade war. Dane Patterson reports.
The Premier and the Leader of the Opposition were part of a special food, fuel and fertilizer conference in Regina. Politicians were there along with influential business leaders from various industries.
I would like to hear more about what really is fueling and powering and feeding not only Canada but the world, and that is the prairie provinces.
We do have what the world needs. We're proud of how we produce it. Now we actually have to find the political will to get to the table and to ensure that we can get those products to markets and, again, not be overly dependent on the United States.
Saskatchewan's farmers are facing tariffs on some crops and pork from China, and the U.S. has tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. Mo is hoping settling the trade dispute with China is in the works, even during the federal campaign. He's also hoping to see more emphasis on building relationships abroad from whoever forms government.
All of our export markets should be points of priority for any federal government, not just today, but always.
It appears Saskatchewan is getting more attention from federal leaders. Liberal leader Mark Carney and NDP leader Jagmeet Singh are expected to be making stops in Saskatoon Wednesday night. Online invitations are encouraging party faithful to show up and support the leaders and local candidates. Dane Patterson, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Well, there was a testy exchange in the legislature Tuesday over the province's budget. In question period, NDP finance critic Trent Wotherspoon claimed the budget is, quote, not worth the paper it's written on. He says the government revenues have been thrown even more out of whack because of the global oil price decline, in addition to tariffs. But the finance minister disagrees. Jim Ryder says the budget needs time to weather the turbulence brought on by the tariffs.
We are in uncharted territories. The price of oil is down. It's concerning. Mr. Speaker, the price of potash is up. Mr. Speaker, do they want to rewrite the budget then again? Mr. Speaker, we have a good budget. We're proud of the budget. It's the only balanced budget.
Oil prices are declining, reaching a low of about $58 US a barrel. The provincial budget assumed an average price of $71 to bring in about $1 billion in revenue. Talk of recessions and economic shock the world over is helping to push down that price of oil, as you heard, as people prepare for shaky financial futures. And as Kyle Bax explains from Calgary, that has some Canadian oil companies bracing.
A $10 plunge in oil prices in a matter of days has one of the country's largest industries on high alert.
It's tough. I think it's kind of an overreaction.
Oil is trading on the cheap over concerns for the global economy. Saturn Oil and Gas operates in Alberta and Saskatchewan. With prices down to nearly $60 a barrel, the company could slash spending and drilling.
If we see a sustained 60, you're going to see companies pull back on capital. Once they pull back on capital, I mean, that's less need for engineers and geologists.
Since the latest round of tariffs from the U.S., North American oil prices have fallen about 15%. The industry is largely exempt from any direct tariffs. Instead, the global trade war could lead to a slower economy, lower consumer spending, and thus less demand for crude.
The ones that got hit hardest by tariffs were largely China and across East Asia. That is also the area where we expect to have the largest contribution to global oil demand growth over the coming year and years. So that is inevitably going to have a damaging effect.
At the same time, some countries, including members of OPEC, are producing more oil. That too is driving prices down. As a result, the value of Canadian energy companies is sliding.
If you're an investor, you wonder about what you should do. Should you stay the course or should you make some changes? So there's a lot of moving parts here that's adding a lot of anxiety.
Tumbling prices could cost some provinces billions in expected revenue from taxes and royalties.
We have a worst case scenario budget. We knew that we were going to end up with a lot of volatility.
Ultimately,
for now, companies will keep a close watch on prices.
Hopefully that this trade war is short-lived. You know, we're hoping that we start seeing trade deals come out.
Waiting before deciding when to cut back on drilling and by how much. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Calgary.
We're now hearing from the president of the University of Regina and the president of its students' union in regards to a story we brought you last week. That's when the U of R announced it had lost confidence in the students' union. Liam O'Connor brings us this update.
The university has terminated its agreement to collect student fees on behalf of the U of R Students' Union. U of R President Jeff Keshen says the university came to that decision because an auditor's report showed significant issues with spending and revenues in the student union's financial documents.
This year, the auditor pointed to an ongoing material uncertainty, which in auditor's language means that the financial sustainability of that organization is in serious question, meaning that they may not be able to pay their bills. They may not be sustainable.
Keshen says ultimately students might not be able to depend on the union to provide services anymore. He says the audit doesn't include a reason for the deficit, but he says he knows the organization has hired more people and revenues have decreased.
They had indicated that they had an emergency financial plan. We were never satisfied that that plan that they put forward, which we actually hadn't really seen much details of that plan, we're going to address the material uncertainty that that organization has.
The Students' Union president openly admits the organization ran a deficit, which he says was around $1.3 million. He says it's not a case of revenue going down, but rather expenses going up. He blames overstaffing and funding too many programs.
We made the emergency plan in my tenure. We reduced the staffing and we reduced all the, the programs who were not sustainable in a long term.
One man who studies student union governance says this is not a unique issue. He says unelected student union employees can often end up with more power than the students themselves.
We don't want a situation where the students feel that, democracy is just the public service running everything and the students, the elected, the constituents, the representatives having no say.
Ahmed says things would have been better in 2 months. The union was trying to increase revenues with new services and a new coffee shop. He says if the union gets its winter student fees from the university, it'll be $400,000 in the green for its next audit in 2 months' time. For now, the U of R president says the only way forward is for the students to organize and present a new governance structure. Liam O'Connor, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Regina's Namarind Housing Corporation has released a 5-year plan to tackle homelessness in the city. The plan focuses on increasing drug treatment funding and building permanent housing. The company's CEO says he's confident about the plan because of its data-driven focus.
We know that through this data collection that we have taken 1,000 people off the street in the last 2 years. Yet, the homelessness population has increased by over 250%. So we know the importance of that.
Last month, Regina City Council declared a houselessness crisis in the city. It's now asking the federal and provincial governments to provide emergency funding so it can move forward with plans such as Namarind's. The Housing Corporation estimates it will cost $111 million over 5 years. Well, if you need help figuring out a complicated legal judgment, artificial intelligence is here to lend a hand. A national pilot project is using AI to simplify Saskatchewan court decisions. The Canadian Legal Information Institute publishes court decisions from across the country on its free website. The Saskatchewan judgments now come with a summary of what the case is about and its outcome done by an AI program. A University of Saskatchewan business professor says it is a promising idea, but also has a word of caution.
The challenge is it may not be 100% accurate, and I think that's where within a law firm using that, you have to sort of be a bit more careful because it writes beautifully, but there may be inaccuracies. So there's a real need for always professional skepticism in what's written by AI. And so it can give you a really great starting point, but you need a really careful eye to review it, and that you need that expertise background to be able to identify when AI is accurate and when it's sort of taking us down a different path.
One of the safeguards on the website is that the AI summary always runs alongside the original judgment, and that way a reader can compare the two. Well, a nice day for the geese on the South Saskatchewan River in Saskatoon. For others in the province, though, it was a day of some rain and some snow, and it looks like we may be in for more of the same in the next day or so. I will have the details in your forecast after the break. Welcome back. There is new research out that shows getting the shingles vaccine could significantly lower your risk of dementia. Christine Birak breaks down the findings.
It's a vaccine for shingles. Now scientists say there's more evidence it can lower the risk of developing dementia by as much as 20%.
It would have huge implications for dementia care and also for research into dementia and the causes of dementia.
A new study published in the journal Nature looked at over 200,000 older adults in Wales for 7 years. In 2013, a shingles vaccine was offered to those who were age 79 but not 80. This unique rollout gave scientists a chance to go back and compare two nearly identical groups, one vaccinated, one not.
This is a landmark study.
Researchers found the vaccine reduced the probability of a new dementia diagnosis by approximately 1/5, with the strongest effect in women.
If you consider over the past decades we've had nothing that affects dementia or prevents it, a 20% reduction is a major step in the right direction.
Researchers aren't sure why the shingles vaccine may be protective. They do know shingles is a painful rash caused by reactivation of the chickenpox virus in a person's system. One theory is
just by preventing shingles, it prevents this inflammatory event that might contribute to inflammation in the brain and the development of diseases like dementia.
And to think that there's an added benefit, that's pretty amazing.
67-year-old Kathy Howell got her shot. She's also exercising and playing games to keep her brain as healthy as possible.
It's just good to be always engaged in trying to learn new things.
The shingles shot used in this latest study is an older vaccine, but other studies show the current vaccine offers even better protection against shingles. Researchers say it may also better protect your brain. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
A bit of a mixed bag of weather throughout the province that we've seen over the afternoon. In the Regina area, we saw some rain showers, sun coming out, and in portions of western Saskatchewan, we've actually seen a little bit of some active weather. We saw severe thunderstorm warnings out for the area in between Kindersley and Leader, and those showers continuing to move through as we've gone through Tuesday evening. Those temperatures that you see there, of course, getting warm once again, bumping up into that 15 to 20 degree range again through south central and southwestern Saskatchewan and in some west central areas. That warmer air interacting with some moisture moving through that is triggering off those storms. But you see further north and east, temperatures still closer to the freezing mark, although we did get above zero in places like Wynyard and Melfort through Tuesday. So the reason for sort of that warmer weather is that warm front attached to that low pressure system that you see there. In behind there to the south and to the west, that's where the warmer temperatures are. That low pressure system also triggering those thunderstorms that we've been seeing. That continues to move through as we head into early Wednesday morning. Some showers possible in south central and southeastern sections. Clearing, though, begins to start in western areas along the Manitoba border and portions of northeastern and east central Saskatchewan. That's where we could see maybe some flurries developing overnight and continuing through Wednesday. And then sort of a rinse and repeat scenario as we get later into Wednesday afternoon and into the early evening. Maybe some pop-up showers and thunderstorms possible in southern parts of the province, especially the further west you are. Thursday, though, high pressure moves in and that clears us out. But that moves away, and then on Friday we'll see increasing cloudiness and another low pressure system bringing some showers and maybe mixed precipitation through northern Saskatchewan. So it's really going to depend on where those showers actually pop up, but where they do develop, we could see some heavier amounts of rain, maybe in the range of 5 to 10 millimeters. Most models suggesting that'll be into west central Saskatchewan. Into the north, this model doesn't capture the whole rainfall event that we're going to see there, but definitely a few millimeters possible for most northern areas that still have quite a bit of snow on the ground. Wind is going to pick up as well as these couple of low pressure systems continue to move on by. So winds still gusting 30 to 40 as we go into early Wednesday morning, and by the afternoon 40 to 50 gusts are what we can expect from the northwest as we get into especially south central and southeastern Saskatchewan, and then things picking up a little bit as that next system starts to develop on Thursday evening. So for Regina, we do still have the risk of some showers, especially in the morning for Wednesday. Things clearing out and warming up as we get into Thursday and Friday, maybe even breaking above 20 degrees. And then showers for Saturday and Sunday as temperatures take a big tumble as we head into the beginning of next week. That won't last long. Clouds clear and we get some nice temperatures back for Tuesday. Saskatoon expecting a little more sunshine. I don't think we have as much of a chance of showers for Wednesday, but then we get to bask in that sunshine and the nice warm weather to round out the work week. A similar drop in temperatures. You'll note those overnight lows dropping below freezing again for Sunday and Monday, but then we're back on track and above seasonal as we head into Tuesday. Well, a community group in Indian Head is hoping to win a cash prize to refurbish the community's beloved century-old theater. They're up against 11 other groups vying for a grand prize of $50,000.
Hello everyone, welcome to the historic Grand Theater in Indian Head. Let's take a look inside. To our knowledge, the Grand Theater in Indian Head is the oldest continuously operating theater of its kind in Western Canada, if not in the whole country. When it was built in 1904, it was the only opera house between Winnipeg and Vancouver. This room has seen presentations from politicians, dances that would last into all hours of the night. It's been through the silent film era, children's productions, the talkies when they came along. It's really seen a revolution of the arts through its lifetime. Since 2014, the theater has been community owned. A group was put together that purchased the theater to save it from fear of closure. For sure. Our highly technical door. So we're in the underbelly now. The theater is competing right now in a competition called The Next Great Save, which is hosted by the National Trust of Canada. We are one of 12 competitors in the contest, and it is all vote-based. The grand prize is $50,000, second prize is $10,000, and the third prize is $5,000. So with renovations over time, it has left spaces that are uneven, that create some tripping hazards. We would like to even this floor and install a ramp on the outside of the building for our patrons. And it would help us to create accessible washrooms that are able to be accessed by everyone. This is where lots of people had their first date. This is where many teenagers have their first jobs. For myself as a parent, this is where my kids saw their first movie or performed on the stage for the first time. And so it really holds a lot of our community's memories and the stories that they tell.
Well, the Royal Canadian Mint has unveiled a new coin to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the Supreme Court of Canada. The dollar coin features an engraving showing the exterior of the landmark building. It honors the top court's role in upholding and interpreting Canadian laws and the Constitution. The flip side of the coin features the face of King Charles. Two versions of the coin, a color-enhanced one as well as an engraved one, have entered circulation in Canada. Stay with us. We'll be back with more news and a final look at the forecast after the break. Welcome back. 7 lawyers from northern Saskatchewan are being celebrated. All of them grew up or were raised in the community of Pelican Narrows. Kara Morasti is a Crown prosecutor from Saskatoon who helped get all the lawyers together for a special photo shoot. They wanted to celebrate their successes with a traditional feast, and it was also a chance for them to wear traditional fur and ribbon skirts along with their court robes. Morasti says she's proud to be able to use her traditional language of Cree to better support the people in northern Saskatchewan.
I speak Cree fluently as well, and I remember quite a few times as soon as I would interview a client of mine and as soon as I started speaking my language, you could see them relax, like take a deep breath and it's like, oh, okay, like you know what it's like to be Indigenous and to grow up in the North. I think that work is just so meaningful, and having youth see us in the community, in those systems, working and having a presence there is so important, and that they can see that they can pursue a legal career as well or a professional degree.
Morasti says she hopes the group will inspire young Indigenous people to pursue a career in law or other degrees. Well, some showers still possible as we head Tuesday night into Wednesday after some rumbles of thunder out in western Saskatchewan. Again, those showers mostly through southern parts of the province. Central region still seeing some cloud cover, though, most of us hanging around that freezing mark. That is the same for northern Saskatchewan as well. Some showers or flurries, especially into eastern sections. Those continue as we head into Wednesday. I think cloud cover is going to hang around closer to the Manitoba border for many of us as we head into Wednesday, but some clearing out further west. Especially in western sections of the Churchill region. For south and central, again, some morning showers possible through south central and southeastern areas. Regina not ruling out the chance of a morning shower. And then as we get into the afternoon, things start to clear. East central areas still looking at maybe some flurries up around the Hudson Bay area and Nipawin and Tisdale. And then those pop-up showers possible once again, and maybe a few rumbles of thunder in southern sections as we get into the afternoon, as temperatures there will likely once again crack the double digits, and we're looking for a pretty nice day temperature-wise. And that is it for us. For more news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. And of course, you can also download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.